beyond just Sunday, defensively, your steal rate is lower, but you also don't necessarily have the depth to where you can press as much early in games. And when you try to do it, it's kind of hit and miss. Yeah. How do you try and improve in something, but at the same time, you're kind of boxed in a little bit?
Yeah, well, we do need to pick up the pressure a little bit, whether it's in full court or half court. We just got to, I think, continue to do a better job. We're at our best when we can kind of create off our defense. We haven't done enough of that, but our defense has actually been relatively solid. It was not on Sunday. But we've got to get the defense and the offense matched up. But yes, you're absolutely right. We do need to create a little bit more defensively.
You said it wasn't solid on Sunday. Aside from giving up too many points, what are some of the details or nuances that you picked up watching the game film that need to work on?
We just gave up 100 points, so there's a lot to enumerate. I think the main thing is we hit a really, a good team that was shooting well. It was a tough matchup for us with Peely. She knocked down that three, the first shot of the game, and Philly. She's just not as equipped to defend a player like that. And so it kind of negated, her height a little bit. And, they just run so much good stuff. And we were just seemed like a step behind most of the night and never really, created what we need. We didn't force many turnovers. They didn't force many turnovers. I think both teams just decided we're going to try and outscore each other. And it was a really well-played game at the offensive end. But yeah, too many things to enumerate, to be honest with you.
With teams who are going to go inside and then kick it out to create those threes, Utah may do it to an extreme, but there are other teams with capable shooters.
Yeah.
How much has to be like defensive anticipation just to close out and prevent some of those passing lanes?
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're talking about a lot of different things that we've got to do better. Like I said, I think we've made some improvement. If you look at the numbers defensively, we've done some good things 3 or 4 games before Sunday. We're just the kind of team that we're not blessed with a ton of, overall size. And so we have to game plan and try and take this away this game and let this kid shoot the next game. And we've been trying to do that. But we just got to be a lot better defensively. And that starts with the coaches. We've got to game plan better, make them execute the game plan. And, we're obviously not doing as well as we should as well.
This is going to be a very different challenge compared to the first time because Sissoko didn't play the first time. What kind of threat does she pose when you have to play her this time around?
Yeah, well, she's an elite player, no question. Can beat you off the bounce, great mid-range shooter. She doesn't shoot with range, so you can, make her beat you in other ways. But yeah, it's going to be a bigger challenge. They're playing with a lot more confidence than they did here. I think that's a big part. But they beat Stanford without her, so it's not like she. She's obviously a great player, but they have other really good ones too that are capable. Rhea Marshall's playing as well as anybody in the conference right now. That's a big concern, and same with Littleton. She's playing well. She didn't shoot it well the first time against us, but also I think we can even be better. Grace only had 4 points against them the first time. Struggled only 7 shots. Only played about 20 minutes. And Tahina, wasn't, didn't have a great game either. So I think, can even be better.
How do you prevent Marshall from getting to the line? Because first time, 3 of 15 is great, but with 8 free throws, it's basically like 7 of 15 in the grand scheme. So how do you prevent her from getting there?
She's a good player, and she's going to probably get there. I think we did a great job of getting her out of the game with her own foul trouble, and I think that really helped. You just got to play good, sound defense. And I liked our practice today. We actually worked on post defense, and it looked pretty good. I thought our kids played hard, and technically they were pretty solid.
What do you feel like the level of urgency is with this team right now? Do you feel like you're at that point where the team is feeling a little bit desperate about picking up some of these ones?
Yeah, well, level of urgency right now is 10 out of 10. We know where we're at. We know what we need to do. I think we're still in position to get some good quality wins down the stretch. I don't think there's a single game left on our schedule that's not winnable for us. We obviously have to play really well and better than we have been. But, I still think we're going to need 3 or 4 more wins, to get ourselves into the NCAA tournament. So we've got to find them. So, we talked about the sense of urgency and practicing with that right before practice today. And we got to play that way right from the tip. We need to be the hungriest team.
Use the NCAA tournament and maybe what you need to do to kind of show the urgency of, hey, this is where we're at, or kind of how do you use that as a carrot?
Today. I did today. Yeah, I think it's important for our team to know that A, we're still in a position to get there. B, we've got to win some games, and to do that, we have to play with more of a sense of urgency. But yeah, I think it's still something that's attainable. If you look at all the measurements, I don't know where we're at in the net. That's just one. We've got to get some quality wins. That's the bottom line. But our efficiency numbers are still solid, which surprises me, given our shooting woes in the last few weeks. But yeah, we in the end need to pull some of these close games out.
I just want to ask you, what has Taylor Hosendove given you the last 2 games? Probably her best 2 games as a Duck, obviously in losses, so you maybe don't want to. But what has she done that has allowed her to play at such a high level?
Well, for her to really help us, she just got to continue to do those little things. The 8 or 7 offensive rebounds that she had last game, those are the little things. She allows us to maybe switch a little bit more when she's on the floor because we're not so big there. She can actually guard guards. Just that's what she's got to do. Give us energy, and she's one of our few players that really talks well out there on the court. So she gives us some energy and emotion.
2 years ago, that LA trip was a bit of a turning point. I realize it's also a bit of a Royal Rumble in the midst of it, but this isn't a personality issue with this team as it was 2 years ago. But how much you have to hope that this LA trip could be that late season turning point for you guys?
I don't remember it 2 years ago in LA.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The
I mean, just off the top of my head, I don't.
After the UCLA loss, and you were pretty pointed about how poor it was, and the practice in between was rather passionate, I'd say.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, that was a COVID year, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm only worried about Friday's game. I haven't really looked back because this is a whole different team. Yeah, you guys, listen. It's pretty simple. We just have to play. We have to play better, and not that we're playing poorly. We just gotta we gotta find a way to get it done. That's bottom line.
What do you feel like is the biggest key to beating USC the second time this year?
We got to handle their pressure, because they are physical. They're really good defensively. Again, it was already mentioned. We have to do a good job on their post players, and then somehow negate Littleton. We can't let Littleton do what other guards have done against us and have great shooting nights.